Hey guys, welcome back to another Jane and Reptiles. Today, like the title of the video says, I'm going to be homing my new crested gecko baby. And I'm going to walk through the steps how to set up a small enclosure for a crested gecko baby, which is really not that expensive and is really easy to do. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. So the first thing you're going to use is a critter keeper. Now the critter keeper doesn't have to be super huge because remember, they're still a baby and they need to find their food. So if you put them in like a 10-gallon enclosure, it's going to be really hard for them to find their food and they could starve. So we were trying to avoid that. And for my substrate, I'm just going to use paper towels. So I'm going to go ahead and layer the bottom like that. And then we're going to spray the bottom a little bit just to keep the paper towels from moving. And the next thing we're going to be using is going to be leaves, vines. You have to put stuff inside of their enclosure so that they can feel secure. So I'm going to be using one of these that has a little suction cup. And I believe this is Exoterra, I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and put it in there. Because you want a lot of hiding places for your baby crested geckos. Since they're little, you know, and the wild, they get hunted because they're so tiny. So we want to keep them safe and make them feel safe. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. And then the second leaf that I'm going to use in the flower, I'm going to place it inside of the hole of the critter keeper like that. And I bought these. This one I bought at the Dollar Tree. I thought it was really pretty to add some color to it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it stays inside of the hole like that right there. So it's really easy to keep in there and really easy to clean as well. So for food, I'm going to be using the Pangea with insects. I got this from my local reptile store because local pet stores around here don't sell this. So there's a specific reptile store that I go to that they have this. And I also bought a magnetic feeding ledge. And it's small, so you can see. So I'm not gonna be using these paper one. What I'm gonna do is inside of this paper one, I'm gonna put the water bottle cap like that, because they don't really eat much. So I'm gonna be preparing their food here and then placing it in there. And for water wise, you wanna mist their tank down at least twice a day, depending how dry your house is. And that's how they're gonna get their water. They're gonna drinking water. They're gonna be drinking it off the leaves and stuff like that inside of the enclosure. So let's go ahead and introduce you guys to my new crested gecko. So this is my little dude. I ended up naming him Yoshi. So I think the name is pretty cute. I'm like, why not? Since all of my other reptiles are like crazy names like Midnight, Kratos, Burrito. So yeah, Yoshi. He's really small. I didn't pick him for any specific reasons. I just saw him and I thought he was super cute. And haven't owned a crested gecko in a while, so I was like, why not get back to it? So this is him. He's super adorable. I don't know the sex, but it's super adorable, super cute. And they're really low maintenance. You know, the temperature wise, it doesn't have to be super warm. They don't like a lot of heat. And they do good in cold weather, but not super cold. So like room temperature is fine. They don't need any lighting or any other heat source. So that's always a plus with them as well. And they're really low maintenance. As long as, you know, you feed them, spray them down, they're always happy. So yeah, let's go ahead and put him inside. Let's see if he lets me get him out. So this is him. He is so freaking cute. I love his colors. He has a lot of creams. And oh, there he goes. He wanted to go home. So I think he did it himself. So I'm not gonna bug him. I'm gonna leave him there. And you know, mist down the tank a little bit more with him inside. And I do use water with Reptisafe, and I use it in a small bottle so it's easier for me, and I use this just for him. So let's go ahead and make the food, and then we could place the food inside of there and then put the lid on top, and then we're done. Okay, so this is the food. It's more like a ketchup consistency, not so watery, not so thick, just like perfect. And you don't need to put more than this because they're really tiny, so their stomach is even smaller. So they're probably gonna have like 2 or 3 licks of this and be done with it. I replace the food every other day or every other 3 days. So I put the food in here, leave it in there for about 3 days, and then remove it and then replace it again for new one. The enclosure has to go to a dry period, so you don't want to constantly keep this completely moist or soaking wet. You want it to spray it down, let it dry up a little bit before you spray it down again. So let's go ahead and pop the food in. Pop the food inside of the feeding dish and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so that is it. As you can see him, he's walking back there in the corner. His food is right there. I decided not to use the magnet yet because I feel like he's still too small. And if you guys have any questions, concern, or comments, just let me know. Please thumbs up this video and subscribe for more videos about my animals or reptiles.